Hello and welcome into Talking Bengals, the world's realest podcast. And Nick, can you tell me what time it is? Would you mind just
I mean,
checking your watch?
it's a little after 9. I don't
Oh,
know. It's getting kind of shiny in here.
kind of
A
bright
lot
in
of
here. I
glare.
don't know what to do. Oh, so to
I
Ian and his
mean,
group of flunkies, let two old guys smoke you at your own game. I'm just gonna say it's a little bit embarrassing, but hey, the champs are here in full effect. Beersby 2025 taking people out. That's all I'm saying. Nick,
I
how you
mean, you
doing?
just can't stop the Nick and Casey connection. I mean, cornhole, Beersby. Just name the game. Name the game. Bring it on.
Yeah, that is an open challenge to anybody who wants to take us on. Take you down.
Friendly competitions only.
Yeah,
Okay, no
yeah,
betting.
no
We
money,
don't bet.
a little bit of money. Yeah,
All right, I got to take this off because it's really uncomfortable.
it is. It's for being a $10 gigantic hunk of metal. It is a little uncomfortable. Anyways, this is a Bengals podcast, so we'll get back into it, and we're going to start off with something happy. That's why we did that. Now we have to get into a lot of sad things, but the most real life sad thing right now is we did lose Rudy Johnson today. That is absolutely heartbreaking for his family, first and foremost, for his friends, people that knew him personally. I don't want to try to overshadow that with the way that we feel as fans, but does hit us hard as well. I mean, Rudy was the first good running back after Corey Dillon, really made a difference. Part of that playoff run in '05 made the game a lot of fun. A guy that, how could you not cheer for him? He was just like, he looked so much smaller than everybody else out there, except he was stout and could run everybody over. Just a great guy to watch. Nick, what are your thoughts?
I mean, as a football player, Mike Brown said it really well. He was well respected. He was a great running back for the Bengals. He was respected on and off the field. I Once I got that notification that Rudy had passed away, I don't know, kind of put my day in a damper.
Yeah.
Everybody loved Rudy. I didn't know a single Bengals fan who didn't love Rudy.
It's
God
very true.
bless him. God bless his family, and we'll be praying for you.
Yeah. Too young. 45 is too young. Just sad. Very sad. And, he has a legacy of the Cincinnati Bengals. I hope they do something, really great for him next home game because he deserves it. He was a major staple for the Bengals. I said, big time. Had some of I think he still holds a few records, if I remember right, for either most yards in a single season or he had it at the time, and then most carries in a single season. So those are big deals. So, Rudy, thank you for all the great memories. Thoughts and prayers to your family and loved ones. And
Absolutely.
now on to less serious, more joking sadness that we can get to because it's just football at this point. But what an abysmal, miserable, awful crap show of a football game.
Yeah. I mean, I turned it off about 7 minutes into the second quarter, and then checked in probably with a few minutes left in the game, and just saw that I didn't even want to watch it anymore. Um, Two turnovers for touchdowns. Same guy. Just
Game of his
I mean,
life.
yeah. It's a game of a Minnesota Vikings life. Um, I mean, I don't think that's indicative of a Jake Browning outing. And quite honestly, as bad as the defense played, I don't think it could get any worse. And please don't prove me wrong.
I don't even think the defense honestly played that bad. They could have. I mean, you were down. Okay, so they gave up the opening touchdown, which I don't. You can't blame this loss on the refs by any means. But I've also never heard of chop block from a defensive back who's diving under a block and doesn't touch the guy. That's the weirdest penalty I've ever heard of in my life. What should have been called a great play by Dax Hill because he ducked a block and got around it, ended up being a 15-yard chop block penalty. So that seems stupid.
They did call a similar penalty on Monday Night Football last night on the
Still,
Lions.
still
On the
stupid.
Lions.
Yeah.
I don't see how you get a chop blocking penalty when you're playing defense. You're not blocking.
I mean,
You're not blocking. Your goal is to stop the offense at all costs.
you could call it an illegal hit if you want to call it that, but a chop block, yeah, I'm with you on that. It can't be called a block. Call it, a below the legs hit or below the knee hit or something. But
Like
to
an
me,
illegal hit. That's fine.
especially on the Dax Hill one, he literally didn't touch the guy. He ducked under. The guy fell over because he was trying to block Dax. So, like, what is that penalty? But that was their worst series on defense, and I feel like by the next time, the defense held them pretty close. Browning gave up a touchdown. Good field position for the Vikings, got him a field goal, but you're 17-3 with a chance to, go 17-10 going into halftime. And then Noah Fant fumbles. Next thing you know, you're down 24. Then another fumble. Next thing you know, you're down 31. Yeah, how many of those are on the defense? When you give them the ball back inside the 25, that's really hard for a defense to stop somebody. So, I mean, yeah, should they? Sure, I guess they should, but
In a
how
perfect
easy is it,
world.
yeah, how easy is that to do? So to me, the defense didn't play that bad. That's why this one, yes, it's the largest, loss margin in franchise history or whatever they said. But this one doesn't look as bad as the 2018 loss to New Orleans, where the defense gave up all of the points. So the defense didn't look at that bad. The offense giving up 14 points, and then special teams giving up, seven? Yeah, 21 points, not the defense's fault at all. Yeah, the rest of them, maybe, but I don't know. It's just bad. Any other thoughts? I mean, it's random. So to me, I was very mad. I didn't like it. I was like, oh, the season's over. Bring in the bulldozers, turn this place into a parking lot. Until I started to think of it from a different lens. If you're an athlete, you've had a game where this happens, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, or things just go wrong. I mean, I know you've done this as a pitcher, and I have too. You have a game where you're pitching perfectly fine, but they find Texas leaguers and dying quails all over the field, and all of a sudden you're down 7 or 8 runs, and you're like, but I didn't. No one's hit a hard hit ball yet today. It just happens.
Yeah. I mean, you know how when you go to, we'll just call it the Nerf gun shooting range, and you
Yeah.
have these targets where you pop it on the glass, and then you're trying to get the Nerf bullets to stick on the glass, and then you have them all bunched up in this one little small circle about like this big, and then all of a sudden there's this little guy out here. That game was this little guy. We're not going to worry about that little guy. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about that little guy. Jake Browning's going to get better.
We can only hope.
And
Can't get much worse. If it
it
does,
can't get worse. Noah
Mike
Fant's
White
going to have ball security. Hope to God. Turn into Tyler Eifert.
Jermaine Gresham.
Jermaine Gresham, Tyler Eifert, just long line of tight ends for the Bengals to just give up balls. Whatever. It's just don't worry about that little guy. Let's not even talk about it anymore. What's going on next week?
I mean, the only thing I want to say real quickly is I didn't realize the Bengals were 0-7 in Minnesota. Apparently, we hate playing in Minnesota. Let's just never play there again. That works for
I
me.
can agree.
So, moving into looking at next week, it is the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football. Yay. At least our Sunday isn't ruined.
That's another way to look at it.
It's good news. They can't ruin your Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it's Monday Night Football, so it's always fun. I love watching Monday Night Football. I watched last night's game until I just couldn't take it anymore. I was so tired. I went to bed with like 2 minutes left in the game. And I love Monday Night Football. I've always watched it, whether or not the Bengals are playing or not. But the Bengals are playing this Monday. I wish that it was Joe Burrow playing at quarterback. It would be a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, let's take a look at the positives. Okay? We got everybody but Joe Burrow there. That's the positives.
It is.
Everybody but Joe Burrow is healthy.
Well, healthy enough.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So, what are your keys to victory when we think about playing Monday night against the Denver Broncos?
You have to be able to establish a running game of some sort. I mean, you got to have some kind of running game that works to where Jake can have a little bit more comfort back there. He can figure out what's going on. And this, to me, is really the game that's going to define the rest of the season. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. It's a bad, fluky game. It happens against the Vikings. But if you come out and lay a total, not saying you have to win. Yes, the win would be fantastic. But if you come out and just lay a total egg again, yeah, then I don't see any coming back from it. It's just going to be a long freaking year. And all we're going to hear is, well, they started fast, and then just finished like crap. So, yeah, you got to establish a run game. You got to get in a rhythm. And the defense, winning the turnover margin. You got to win the turnover margin.
I'm going to agree. Obviously, you can't disagree with what you said. But I'm going to really harp on, you have to establish a solid run game. I don't know what it is about Zach Taylor's offense, but man, rushing yards has been a struggle ever since he came in. And we've had decent enough running backs to where they should be getting on average 60 to 100 yards a game.
Yep.
Running the ball. Okay? Our offensive line is good enough where they should be able to block at least for 2 or 3 seconds. That's enough time for the running back to get through a hole. Okay? We can't just run Chase Brown right, Chase Brown left. We got to run the 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7s. There's blocking schemes for that. There's pulling guards. There's pulling tackles. Heck, the center can even pull. Imagine that. Tight ends could come across, run a counter play, jet sweep, a fake jet sweep, dive. I don't know. Get creative. Do something different than what you're doing now, because obviously what you're doing now doesn't work.
Hey, I think it's working great. He has negative 54 yards before contact, Chase Brown does. I think it's a great stat. Nothing better than you can't even get to the line of scrimmage before you're getting hit. That shows you have a great offensive line.
No, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm going to put it on the offensive line. I think I'm going to put it on the offensive play calling.
Well, yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, when you call such a bad game, day in and day out, every Sunday or every game day, your offensive line has to have an objective to be able to run the ball. If you're going to run the ball between the tackle and the guard, they got to know that. You can't just pick, let's run right or let's run left. Like, I played offensive line in high school, and that concept was known in high school. It looks like we are running a Pee Wee flag football offense with our run offense, where we're just running right and left. That's what it looks like. When I look back to one of my kids, we watching films, because we filmed all the games to figure out what we were doing wrong. One thing that I could always find was that our offensive line, they never knew where to block because they didn't know where the ball was running. We would always go right or we'd go left. It wouldn't be hey, we're going between guard and tackle. Hey, we're going between the center and the guard. Hey, we're going between the tackle and the end. Hey, we're going to run right off the tight end's butt. Blah, we got to crash down the line and kick somebody out. Like, there has to be some form of a blocking scheme for the run, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at even a high school level or a Pee Wee football level blocking scheme. And I don't know where the disconnect is, but it is absolutely infuriating. No, I was not a great lineman. I was decent at best in high school. But let's be honest, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know you got to pick where you're going to run the ball, and then your offensive linemen got to do their darn jobs.
Oh yeah, and how many times when you're watching the game do you see two linemen going after one guy and letting two other guys run straight in. You're like, I mean, call me crazy, but that doesn't make any sense. I get you double team people at times, but you can't double team people and let two other linemen just run free. That doesn't work. Just
Like
blows my
at some
mind.
at some point, you have to take on people one on one, and you got
Mm-hmm.
to get to the secondary block. There's a primary block and a secondary block on every play that you have. If if there's a guy lined up in the three technique, which is between the guard and the tackle, and you're running between the guard and the tackle, either the tackle is going to come down and crash him out, and the guard X blocks behind him, or the guard is going to crash out and the tackle is going to X block and come up and get the middle linebacker. It all depends on where the people are in the secondary. With the linebackers, the linebackers lined up outside of the three technique. Well, then the tackle is going to come down. The guard's going to come around and take out the linebacker. But the linebacker's lined up on the inside. You're going to have the guard kick out. Well, long story short, they're not doing any of that.
No.
And I don't know if it's communication between the offensive line and the quarterback. I don't know if it's a miscommunication between Zach Taylor and the offense, or if it's a miscommunication between Zach Taylor and the offensive line coach on the play calls, like how to block. Like, who's coming up with this?
Yeah.
It doesn't make it easy for anybody.
I mean, and Denver's a pretty good team this year. I mean, they're playing well. They've had their ups and downs, mostly doing pretty well though. So it's going to be a tough game. I mean, you want to get into some prediction time here?
Yeah, I'll throw out my prediction. I think the Bengals are going to have a comeback game. I think they're going to win. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think I'm going to do 13-10 Bengals.
Dang, 13-10. That's extremely low scoring. I'm going to go 23-20 Bengals. And if they don't, I mean, even if they win this week, next week, don't even want to get there yet because it's going to be a rough one.
All right, just go ahead and tell me, who do we have?
Lions.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
But yeah, hey, Broncos are hopefully manageable if we don't give up 25 million turnovers.
The Lions are, you said they're manageable?
No, I said the Broncos are manageable this week.
Oh yeah, I mean the Broncos will be fine. The problem is when we get to the Lions next week, we're not going to. I don't think our defense is going to be able to handle the Lions offense.
But don't worry, sports fans. We'll save this for next week. Tune in for that level of depression, especially if Monday night goes to crap.
If we're going to see how Monday night goes, and we're going to see how badly we need to take this depressing story of a season.
Yeah. Hopefully we're back riding in the high and we're excited. But yeah, this week I know we didn't do some of our normal segments because that game was so abysmal. I don't think there was a single cheer. So we could jeer the whole game.
Rico kicked the ball out of bounds 20 yards past the line of scrimmage.
It's all jeers.
Rico didn't even have a good game.
No.
Hey, McPherson made his field goals.
Ooh.
There's a cheer.
There's a yeah.
Hey, just saying.
Whatever.
At this point in the season last year, he's already missed a few.
I think we're just already into mid-season depression, and it's only game 3, and we have a winning record. That's what's ridiculous.
Hey,
we have a winning record.
We're number 1 in the AFC North, baby.
Yeah,
we're number 1 in the AFC North, and we're still depressed because we know what the next 6 games looks like.
So can we just end the season today and just go to the playoffs? That'd be great. That would be great. Anyways, what are your closing thoughts here?
Closing thoughts. For the love of God, establish the run game. just establish the run game. It's just figure it out.
I like that.
Who day?
My closing thoughts are suck less. That's literally all you have to do, Bengals, is just continue to suck less than you did against the Vikings. You'll probably be okay. Just think about it. You get a little bit better every day and give us something to watch. That'd be great because it's a long season. And, maybe the Reds make the playoffs. Maybe the Reds don't. But if they do, I bet they're probably only a one series and out team because that's who they've been since 1995. So after that, we have nothing else to watch. So please don't suck. Suck less. And that's all we have. Join us next week as we get into hopefully happier conversations and more lively, attitudes and moods. But you can check us out at Talking_Bengals on Facebook, X, TikTokies, YouTube, everywhere else, Instagram, anything else that Zach has put together that I don't know how to use. We're probably on it. So check us out. We have great content. Buy some swag and some merch. There should be some new stuff coming out. And until next time, hoo day.
Who day?